Welcome to ZKast, everyone. I'm ZS Caravallo from ZK Research, and I'm here in Ponte Vedra, Florida, at the home of the PGA Tour at their global headquarters. We're Scott Gutterman. You are the Senior VP of Digital and Broadcast Media.
That is right.
Just a quick intro on yourself, how long you've been with the tour, and what that job entails.
Sure. So I've been here with the tour. It'll be 19 years in September.
That's a long time.
So it's a long time. So yes, over the years, my areas have changed from product management to content teams, and now I manage all the digital product teams and the broadcast technology groups here at the tour.
Yeah, that probably wasn't the job when you started, though, huh?
No. Yeah. When I got here in 2005, my responsibilities were one-person content team and just the website. That was it.
Yeah, so let's start there. A little walk back through history, right? You've been here a long time, almost 20 years. Mm-hmm. In that time, how have you seen the role of technology change the way fans interact with the tour?
Sure. Well, I think it's kind of been twofold, really, is how has it impacted the business and how has it impacted fans. So fans, when I got here in 2005, there was no iPhone, there was no mobile, that was very rudimentary mobile access.
You maybe had a pager.
Right. Just pagers and a few other things, but it was very rudimentary. So what we've seen from a fan perspective is that two things. One is fans now, you're carrying around the internet in your pocket or on your wrist with a watch or something to that effect, or maybe something in your ear. So you can engage with fans no matter where they are at any point, at any time, and be able to talk to them whether they are at home watching on TV, running around town, doing errands but want to keep up with what we're doing, or at an event and they're just outside the ropes. They want to, they're following a player and they want to know what happens to those players. So it's really about being, there up to the minute. The second part of that, it's really allowed our fans to get closer to our players. And so in that same period in 2005, the iPhone, mobile phones come up, social media comes out. There's more and more ways for our fans and our players to engage directly. Right, and so that was something that when I got here for the first few years, it was like, how do you get the fans to know the players, and how do you let the players engage with the fans? And so that's another big part of it. And then the third part of it is now what we're all seeing, which is you just continue to see the decentralization and personalization of consumption. Yeah. And the way that where we previously wanted everybody to watch the golf broadcast. Now we really look at any way that someone comes to golf is a good way if someone comes to golf, whether they're playing the sport or they're going to Top Golf or they're watching our players on TikTok.
Yeah. Now, how about from the way the players have approached the game? Have they embraced technology? This tend to be age specific?
Yeah, I think the current generation, kind of the Rorys and the Matt Fitzpatricks and Scotty Schefflers are all very technology centric.
They love the data.
They love the data. They love video. One of the things that we do for players right now is we generate what we call speed round after every round when they play. And so whether they're on the PGA Tour broadcast on ESPN Plus or during our Every Shot Live or they're on a broadcast, every player gets their round condensed into about a 10 or 15 minute round. We cut out all the walking, cut out all the commercials so that they can come to an internal site and that they can actually look at how they perform that day. Their coaches can look at how they perform that day, and they can sit and talk and try to figure that out.
Yeah, I'd actually like access to that maybe.
Yeah.
Or maybe I gotta create my own.
Exactly. It's the same set of videos that our fans have access to. It's just presented a little differently. That's geared towards the players.
Now, I go to a number of events every year. I was most recently at the U.S. Senior Open. I was at the U.S. Open, as you can tell from the shirt. And it's phenomenal. It always blows me away how great the digital experience is across a course that wasn't really designed like a stadium, right? So talk about some of the challenges of being able to deliver that high quality digital experience to a golf course where it's not like you've got fiber run every hole and things.
Right. So it varies every single week, at a PGA Tour event. We have 150 to 200 acres to cover, sometimes even more, where we have events like Pebble Beach or the RSM event up the road here, where we have multiple courses that we have to cover at the same time, right? And so really it's about the connectivity, and that's really where it starts for us. So we have the local connectivity with the cell phones and cell phone towers. We typically will bring Cell on Wheels cows on course as well to help with that. And then we go to localized Wi-Fi, local Wi-Fi at the event, or Wi-Fi and hospitality. And so once we get that connectivity established, and once it's been every year it gets more and more consistent, that really allows us to do things on course, which is like, let fans stream what they want to watch, from our broadcast, from our partners like at ESPN through ESPN Plus and PGA Tour Live, or make sure that they're able to send, photos over Instagram to people and see what they want to do. And probably most importantly for me is to get into the PGA Tour app and be able to find where their favorite players are and how their favorite players are performing.
But the mobile device has really become an integrated part of the experience, and so it's fair to say the network now is, it's everything.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, and in fact,
is
it's cashless too, and things like that. Yeah. Now, the last time I talked to you was at the AWS reInvent, and the PGA Tour is experimenting with generative AI.
Yeah.
And I think you gave some interesting examples of what you could do. Can you just give me an update on that? How that's gone? What's worked, what hasn't worked?
Sure. So when we met the last time and we were there and we were working with some of our players right there on the range, we had been running proof of concepts for what we were doing with generative AI and AWS, and really kind of the beginnings of the bedrock tools last year, playing with different models, in particular playing with the Anthropic Claude models, and using that, we'd built a chatbot to kind of access a wide variety, a multimodal chatbot to access a wide variety of things. So I could ask, what was the longest drive that Tony Finau has hit at TPC Summerlin? And it would not only tell me, it was long, I think it was 385 yards if I remember correctly, but it was 385 yards, and it would tell us 385 yards, this is the longest drive of the day or longest drive of the week, and this is one, his longest drive at the event. It would bring up his video at the same time of that shot and allow us to project that, and we projected that on a big screen. So for that type of tool really let us get an understanding of like, how does generative AI work? How does it create narratives? How does it work in a multimodal situation? And those were all proof of concepts. So now what we're doing, the next steps off of that with the teams was to really begin to say, how do we operationalize experiences using generative AI for our fans? And so that's what we've been focused on really this year. And we're engaged. We have not rolled out, we're engaged in a couple of different projects that go across the business. I think that's the other big change since we talked last year is we have 3 technology groups here at the PGA Tour. So there's my broadcast and digital teams. My colleague Mike Vitti runs our data science teams here, and then my other colleague Ken Lovell runs our golf technologies groups. And each of our groups have generative AI initiatives with AWS that are currently underway, and larger machine learning initiatives that are underway as well too. So for the generative AI work right now on my teams, what we're working towards is how do we use generative AI tools to generate commentary, text commentary, and then eventually audio commentary or synthetic voice commentary for our fans. So if you're using a tool like our TourCast product, which is a 3D representation or 3D digital twin of what goes on the course and shows every shot, we want to provide not only this shot went this far and it's this far to the hole, but we want to provide full context for what's happened. Like, hey, Rory McIlroy just hit this ball into the 18th hole Tour Championship. He's 10 feet from the hole. He makes a 10-foot putt 40% of the time, and he's actually and 10 other guys have made this putt today 20% or 20% of the time. And so giving people better context, allowing them to have commentary in places like that. So that's one of our first initiatives. Our content teams are working on using generative AI as an assistive tool to generate stories, where our core kind of stories like how to watch. Like they'll start with the generative AI tools to generate the initial version of the story, and then they'll edit that, and then they'll publish that out. So it's beginning to find its way into the daily operations of our business.
Do you see the players eventually using Gen AI, maybe asking the IVA questions about the course,
sure,
things like that? Is this something they've been interested in?
Sure. So it's something that we're actually starting to plan for right now. So one of the things my team is responsible for is building apps and experiences for our players. And so one of the items that we're going to be rolling out later this year is this bespoke app that helps our players all throughout their week and their days, everything from stats to committing to events to withdrawing from events to where do they need to be for their pro-am, things like that. One of the next steps in that, once we get that done, is building a player agent. And what we would expect with the player agent is allow the players to be able to tune that agent to look for the things that they want to know when they walk right off the course, right? So when right, so when a Joel Damon walks off the course, he has this agent that knows that he likes to look at the specific set of stats and that he likes to have a specific point of view on those stats, and the agent will give them a full rundown of, okay, here's how you expected to play the course today, here's how you did play the course today, and be able to work with their coaches and trainers on that information and how that works.
Yeah, actually, Adam Hadwin mentioned that with some of the analytics. He said he's not a big analytics person personally, but his caddy is.
Right.
And mentioned that sometimes he thinks he has a bad putting day, and then the data shows he didn't actually, right? But I think in golf we always remember, the couple of holes that were bad.
Yes.
And so that may taint us negatively, but that actually helps.
That's right.
Even from a coaching perspective, I suspect.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. And that's what a lot of the players are getting into. You see a lot of players now wearing, Rory, Justin, and a few others all wear Whoop bands, so they're collecting, bio data on how they're performing during their rounds now. Our players are doing that more, doing that regularly. And golf kind of was one of the first sports that had a lot of video analysis already, originally kind of with the V1 platform that you might have seen if you went to get lessons, from a local PGA pro. But the players have been using that and hitting out of bays. And they use, you'll see now if you look on the range, you'll see a lot of them using their phones. Yeah. And probably one of the most important pieces of technology that our pros use all the time is the TrackMan radar, right? So you'll see the pros lined up down the range, and they'll either have a TrackMan or a Foresight or a full swing unit with them, and then using that. Yeah, they're all portable. They're all about this big now, and we've extended that across the course, where they have radar and everything else across the course while they actually play as well too.
Yeah, one of the initiatives for the tour really since I've been a fan of golf is to expand the scope of the game. And let's face it, golf's pretty expensive. It's difficult sometimes to reach people in inner cities because there aren't a lot of courses in inner cities. Do you think all the analytics and data and social can, how is the tour thinking about using that to just create broader reach to people that maybe wouldn't have access to it before?
Sure. Well, I think a lot of that, a lot of the work that we do when we create data or we create content, you're looking at like when we we do a full digital scan of every course that we play. That creates that's done through LiDAR and radar that we use with drones. It creates this great 3D asset that we can use in different ways. So the way that it's reaching other audiences is that's how 2K and EA get their courses into the game from us, right? So if somebody's coming to the game through 2K and they're playing as a golfer in 2K, that's one way to do it. It's how another platform, Golf Plus VR on the Meta HeadQuest, over 1 million downloads. People playing virtually on a Meta, on a $300 Meta Quest headset. But they replicate a lot of our courses. I also actually just noticed the Golf Plus VR guys just rolled out Sweetens Cove as well this past week. And so those are ways that we bring people to the game that are less expensive, have greater access, don't require you to have a tee time. And then you see all those things going into, top tracer ranges, you see things like that. So there's different ways. One of the biggest changes, I think, in golf since I've been involved in the sport, I've been playing golf since I was in college. And I used to love in college, like I'd go out and play with buddies, we'd play a $5 round at a local municipal course. And that's how I learned how to play golf, right, in Tallahassee and playing at different courses there as I was going to school at Florida State. And so we want to continue to create those physical opportunities for people to gain access to golf. But there's so many more ways now for people to play the game, and those are all great ways to.
So is that how the simulator companies about golf and those get their course info?
Yeah. Okay. That's how for anyone that has a PGA Tour, that's officially licensed PGA Tour partner, they get it directly through our data.
Yeah, that's fascinating. And so when you look ahead, what are some of the other emerging technologies that you're looking at that you're really excited about?
Sure. So I think we're going to continue, AI is going to continue to be at the forefront of the things that we're looking at. We look at AI as a suite of tools. Machine learning we've been doing for years across different platforms, both for our scoring technologies and fan-facing technologies, including we clip all of and publish all of our highlights through algorithms and have for 7 years. It's allowed us to triple the number of highlights. It lets us put out 30,000 clips of 30,000 shots at the Players' Championship within 2 minutes. It
is remarkable how fast on YouTube you'll get Rory's round 4 highlights or something.
Yeah, that's stuff that it comes out from the moment the ball lands, and we see it goes out very, very fast. So I think generative AI, we're going to really learn, I think, over the next couple of years how to create new types of experiences using generative AI. We're going to be using multiple types of models. We're not necessarily dedicated to using any particular model, though that's one of the strengths of the Bedrock platform. It lets us do that, and so we'll find different models that'll be good for different things. So I think that's it. And then we continue to explore emerging platforms like Apple Vision Pro. So we were the first live sport on the Apple Vision Pro back in January. Worked very closely with Apple and a couple of companies, Quintar and Work & Co. And the company that does all of our 3D imaging, ARL, to build that kind of unique experience, which now we're exploring spatial computing built off of experiences that we've had in working in AR and VR over the years as well too. So I'm going to be really interested to see where that develops as we go forward.
Yeah, so in theory, I can be standing on the 12th or the 17th hole at Sawgrass, right, and watch the balls come in.
Yeah, that's the idea. Is like in the Apple Vision Pro, you can watch essentially near live shot trails come in on the 17th hole out here or any course that we show every week, see the highlights, and then also be able to see the live stream of the broadcast too during CBS weeks right now. So it kind of, one of the things I enjoy about it is it kind of creates this mission control of golf that I can create, which is, you have the 3D version of the hole out here. You can pick it up and move it around and watch the shots come in. Have a leaderboard here, have the broadcast here in front of me, and then stats for a player to my left. So it's really kind of a fun and interesting way to enjoy the
I just want something that tells me while my swing is off. I
think that'll eventually happen. Like, you can kind of do that with your phone now, but I think eventually, you'll have a pair of glasses, or your buddy will have a pair of glasses, and he'll tell you, you're swinging inside out, or you're off plane, or you just opened up the club face and the ball, you really shanked the ball, or kind of hit it on the hosel. So I think that'll come.
So when I think about your role, you're sort of the art of the possible person, right? You're looking at a lot of this emerging technology. If we roll the clock ahead 5 years or so, maybe even further out than that, what is the art of what does the fan experience look like?
Well, I think the fan experience will continue to become highly personalized, right? So I think that's happening in all of sports, not just in what we do. For golf, 5 years from now, like we do every shot live at the Players' Championship every year, which is every group shown live from their first shots to the very last shot. I think 5 years from now that you're going to be able to dial up whatever group, whatever individual player you want to watch at any point in time, follow them along on a wide variety of experiences, whether that's a headset or you're going to a venue like Cosm, or you're going to, you're sitting at home and maybe you're watching on some sort of, larger high definition screen experience. So I think those things are really going to do that, and you're going to have personalized commentary, right? So if I like to listen to traditional broadcasts, that's great, and maybe I enhance that with data. But if I'm new to the game of golf, maybe what I want to do is choose a synthetic voice that exists, explaining golf to me at the same time with a synthetic avatar that's there as well too. And those are things that we're beginning to kind of play with and experiment and see where they'll go.
Yeah, maybe we'll have synthetic Gary Koch saying better than most.
Exactly.
So speaking of better than most, that's sort of the end of my technical questions for you. But we are right in the shadows of the stadium course at Sawgrass. Maybe no more famous a hole in all of golf than the 17th hole. Right. You've been here, as you said, almost 18 years or a little over 18 years. In your mind, what are some of the more memorable shots there?
Sure. So for me, the biggest event was Ricky Fowler's win in 2015. I was fortunate enough to actually be just behind the green
in the playoff.
In the playoff. Well, at the end of his round, because he basically he birdied 15. If I remember correctly, I think he birdied 15. I think he birdied parred 16. Parred 16, birdied 17. Yeah. And then went on he had a chance to win, but I think he actually made par or bogeyed 18 to get into a three-way tie. But I was there and watched him throw darts at the 17th hole Sunday pin, which is a very small space, and most people try to land it on the hill and have it kind of roll down to the hole. But it was amazing to watch him. He went right at the flag, and I've never seen anything like that. The crowd was going crazy.
He didn't smile when he did that.
No. I think he was so locked in and so focused on what he was able to do there, and just to watch. And then he came back in 2 more playoff holes and did the same exact thing. Yeah. And that's just I think I'm 50-50 on making it onto that green myself, and so it's it was pretty cool to watch that.
Yeah, there's been some other big moments that I think you said the Tiger Woods better than most.
Better than most.
It was a little bit before you.
Yep, that was predated me, but that's another one. I know you guys you'll be playing out there today, so you can stand at that position and watch how that better than most, but just kind of made the big S down to the front of the green, and it's just an incredible shot.
And then Fred Couples, of course, making a par by slam dunking a ball on his third shot. So that's fantastic memories off that.
I was fortunate also. I think it was last year, year before, I saw Aaron Rai make a hole-in-one live during competition out there. And so that was pretty cool. I think it was the first time I'd actually ever seen a hole-in-one during competition in 19 years, and almost 19 years of being at the tour.
Wow. All right, Scott, anything else you want to add?
No, I mean, it's great. We're very excited about the work that we're doing for our fans and for our players, and we're very focused on using technology. I mean, for us, it's fan first, player first. Yeah. That's the way that we tackle everything, and we look for the best technology to accomplish those goals.
Well, as a fan of the game, I certainly appreciate everything you do. Cool. I know a lot of times it's debatable whether your experience at home is better than the experience on the course, and I think the fact that you're bringing the mobile device into that fan experience lets you really experience the best of both worlds. Yeah. So keep at it. All right, Scott. Well, thanks very much for that very informative interview. So on behalf of Scott Gutterman from the PGA Tour, I'm ZS Caravallo from ZK Research, and thanks for watching. Please hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you next time on my next episode of ZKast.